Hello, my name is Dan Skip Allen. I am the host of the Profiles After Show and co-host of the Best Damn Movie Show podcast. I'm here to review Black Mass, the latest movie starring Johnny Depp, where he plays notable Boston gangster Whitey Bulger. Now, this movie has an amazing cast besides Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger, Joel Edgerton as John Connolly, Kevin Bacon as the head of the FBI, Benedict Cumberbatch as Billy Bulger, Whitey Bulger's brother, who's a senator of Massachusetts in the Boston area, Jesse Plemons as Stevie Weeks, and then Rory Cochrane as Stevie Fleming. Now, these guys all are ensemble together. They all make this movie what it is. And it all starts with Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger. Now, he's in makeup and he has a hairpiece and eye contacts to make him look like Whitey Bulger. But once you get past that at the beginning of the movie, that's what happened to me is I saw nothing but Whitey Bulger. Now, I grew up in Boston. As you can see by the hat on my head, I'm from Boston. I knew about Whitey Bulger. I knew about the Winter Hill game. I knew about L Street. I knew about this whole story. So for me, it was a long time coming. I wanted to see the story come to light. You know, he was on the FBI's most wanted list at #1 for the longest time before being usurped by Osama bin Laden. That's pretty heavy company, if you ask me, to be #1 on the FBI's most wanted list. Now, as far as the movie goes, he tries to take things to where he is in charge, but he doesn't want people to know, Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger, how he's in charge. And so he gets this kind of alliance with the FBI and John Connolly, played by Joel Edgerton, where these two are working together, and Whitey gives John a lot of information about the Italian mob, which is in the north end of Boston, which is a much smaller area than Southie. And right now there's a giant highway and a big tunnel going through the north end. You may have heard of it. It was called the Big Dig. And so the north end is basically destroyed. Half of the north end doesn't exist anymore. But Southie is huge, and it's still thriving today, full of bars and Irish immigrants and people that grew up there their whole lives. And that's where Whitey Bulger and John Connolly and Billy Bulger are from. They grew up together as kids. And so they have this kind of alliance that people didn't know about. Everybody thought that Whitey Bulger was just this gangster, and he was a vicious, vicious man. When he didn't want you around anymore, you can forget about it. He was going to find ways to kill you. If he had to do it himself, he would strangle you. If he had to shoot you or whatever, he'd have one of his henchmen. He had an assassin that worked for him, and he would go to Miami or wherever, and he would kill anybody he wanted to kill. And that was his way of saying, hey, the FBI allowed me to do this stuff, so I can do it. So, but this cast was amazing in this story. I mean, it really went into, and a key word I want to really share is a word that's a household word that everybody uses. It's called table. Now, table is a key part of this movie. So many key scenes take place at a dinner table or a table in a hospital or a dining room table. And the movie basically is what it is because of those key dramatic scenes that take place at dining room tables, dinner tables, hospital tables, so on. That is the movie. Scott Cooper really got the feel of what this movie was going to be about, where he was able to get the dramatic scenes in the story out through meetings at tables. And table is a very key word to this movie, Black Mass, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I came away with is, wow, all these great dramatic scenes with either Billy Bulger or Whitey Bulger or John Connolly or even his girlfriend, Whitey's girlfriend at a hospital when something happens at a hospital, you know. And now he's been through some traumatic things in his life, Whitey has. And so these scenes really make you kind of feel for the man, even though he's a vicious killer and a vicious mobster. You know, and the Irish mob really wasn't thriving in this country. The Italian mob was, but he would not let the Italian mob get involved. He wanted to get them out of Boston in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s, and he succeeded in that with the help of the FBI. This is the best movie I have seen all year. I've seen close to 120 movies this year, like 115 or so movies, and this is the best movie I've seen all year. This is the best performance by any actor I've seen, from Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger. Joel Edgerton is phenomenal. A big surprise. Didn't expect him to be this good. But actors like Rory Cochrane and Jesse Plemons and Benedict Cumberbatch and Kevin Bacon. I mean, these guys are all fantastic on this ensemble cast. I give this a big see it. Please go and give your money to this movie. Scott Cooper, this is his third movie. He deserves a lot of praise for this movie. It was a phenomenal movie with fantastic performances. This is Skip. This has been From the Fourth Row's review of Black Mass.